He was the first to publicly back Shinde a few hours after the controversial saffron terror comment. Digvijay Singh claimed his stand against the BJP and RSS had been vindicated. His own party, while being guarded, later questioned the words chosen by the Home Minister. But does the party's statement change what Digvijay said? Does he still back Shinde on the saffron terror comment? My next guest on News Hour Direct is senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh. Mr. Digvijay Singh, good evening. Why does the Home Minister and the Congress party just not come out and admit that the Home Minister of India made a factually incorrect statement when he spoke about saffron terror on the 20th of January? What is the big deal in saying that the statement was factually incorrect?
The statement was factually correct. The only thing which was not correct was when he called us a Hindu terror, because we don't relate terror with any religion. There is no such thing as Islamic terror or a Hindu terror or a Sikh terror, because terror has no religion, it has no color.
No, Mr. Digvijay Singh, it is factually incorrect because he said that it has come out during the investigation that the BJP and the RSS conduct terror training camps. Where is the proof of that? That the BJP conducts terror training camps? Nowhere in the charge sheets is it mentioned that the BJP or the RSS run terror training camps. It is one thing to say there are misguided, radicalized elements who have some previous involvement with these groups, and one thing to make a generalization that the BJP and RSS run terror training camps.
I am not privy to the information which Mr. Home Minister has. But one thing I know, in 2002, there was a bomb thrown at the temple in Mau, and the Madhya Pradesh police caught identified six Vishwa Hindu Parishad Bajrang Dal activists, out of which 4 were arrested, 2 ran away. And one of them was Mr. Sunil Joshi, who was the mastermind of all this. And all those 4 people gave a confessional statement that they were trained to make bombs. They were trained to make bombs in a farmhouse near Mau. And there has been evidence also, which I was privy to when I was the Chief Minister, that some elements of the Sangh had organized these camps through which these bomb making was one of the...
Mr. Digvijay Singh, let's be factual. The charge sheet nowhere mentions the organizations. The charge sheets mention the individuals. It nowhere mentions the organizations. The Home Minister of India is talking about the organizations. You concede. He's taken it further.
Well, you have missed out. One second. You have missed out the statement of the Home Secretary day before yesterday.
Yes.
All those arrested are Sangh activists.
No. He has said...
Sangh Pracharaks.
No, he has said... What Home Secretary said is that we have names of 10 people involved in Samjhauta Express, Mecca Masjid and Dargah Sharif blast, who were associated with the RSS, not R. And then he talks about individuals. He doesn't talk about the RSS per se. Mr. Digvijay Singh?
There you are.
How is it a conclusive statement? He said were associated with the RSS.
Because all those who have been associated, this is not the only one. You have Makkah Masjid, Hyderabad, you have Malegaon 1, Malegaon 2, Modasa, Ajmer Dargah Sharif, then Samjhauta Express, then Jammu Masjid, then Fulwani, Nanded, Parvani.
One sec. In none of these cases has the organization been linked. No, in none of these cases has the organization been linked. The Home Minister has linked the organization. Now, my question to you is, Mr. Digvijay Singh, if the BJP is running terror training camps, then the BJP has no business being a recognized national political party in this country.
Well, I don't know Home Minister how he has said BJP, but I have said that it is Sangh's involvement in terror. I've known this for a long time.
But
I've always said that some elements of the Sangh, and that's why I don't call it a green terror or saffron terror or a Hindu terror or a Islamic terror. I say it is a Sanghi terror.
No, Mr. Digvijay Singh, you are saying Sanghi terror. However, the Home Minister is not as nuanced as you are in his expression. And it is expected of the Home Minister of India that he will be careful about the words that he chooses, because the general impression, Mr. Digvijay Singh, is that he's landed the Congress party in a soup. And even Janardhan Dwivedi has said that sometimes somebody makes mistakes. Any case, let me move on from that. Let me talk about what you have said. You accuse the BJP of communal politics, Mr. Digvijay Singh. And then you go on to say that the BJP is attacking the Home Minister because he's a Dalit and it's against their ideology. Why are you making this about the Home Minister's caste?
First of all, let me go back to history. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the first Home Minister of this country who had alleged that it was Sangh, RSS and Hindu Mahasabha in their sustained campaign and indoctrination of the young people which led to the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi.
No. Mr. Digvijay Singh, you're not answering my question.
Then I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Then after that, Mr. Chidambaram also made that allegation.
Right.
Although he said saffron terror. Now, we, as the Congress party again said there is no such thing as saffron terror or a green terror.
No.
But the reaction of the BJP at that time was not so vehement as it is this time.
Mr. Digvijay Singh, how can you bring in first religion into terror and then you bring in caste into terror? If you bring caste into every argument, then someone will say Digvijay Singh attacks Mr. Gadkari because Mr. Digvijay Singh is not a Brahmin and Gadkari is a Brahmin. Somebody will say you target Narendra Modi because of his caste. Somebody will say so you attack Rajnath Singh because he's a Thakur. No, you see, Mr. Digvijay Singh, this is politicizing, isn't it? You admit this is politicizing terror to an extreme.
Let me tell you one thing. The BJP and the Sangh have always opposed reservation, and particularly of the SC/ST from the very beginning. If you see their writings, if they see their statements, the Sangh has always been opposed to this.
Mr. Digvijay Singh, my question to you is, how do you link Mr. Sushil Shinde's goof up? Now, he's made a goof up. And you yourself are not saying so today, but it appears you agree that even Janardhan Dwivedi agrees the man has made a mistake. He's landed the Congress party and the government in a soup. But Mr. Digvijay Singh, despite that admission, why are you bringing the caste angle?
The point I'm trying to make is that Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde, the content was correct, but the only mistake he made was when he brought in you call that a Hindu terror or BJP, he involved the name of BJP in that. Sangh activists have been involved, but there is such a close relationship between BJP and Sangh. How do we differentiate?
No, but so why don't you or the Congress party or the government or Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi just come out and tell Mr. Sushil Shinde, why don't you just come and take back your words? Why don't you say, I perhaps used the wrong expression? Why make
this an ego issue? Retracted. He has already retracted the word, and he has said it's not a Hindu terror.
No, but he's not taken away the phrase saffron terror. And you have said, and I have your quote, Digvijay Singh, September 2010, Digvijay Singh says, I have objection to the use of caste, color and religion to describe terror. This is Digvijay Singh. Now you say,
I stand by that. No, but I stand by that.
Yeah, well, your Home Minister has used a color to describe terror, and therefore the Home Minister's position does not agree with yours, I presume.
No, I think if you ask him now, probably he'll clarify.
He's not clarifying. Mr. Digvijay Singh, after Rajnath Singh took over, as the BJP president, you questioned Rajnath Singh over his visit to Pragya Thakur in jail, despite I don't know if you have any available proof of the same. However, Mr. Digvijay Singh, you have yourself visited the family of Batla House encounter accused Mohammad Saif. In fact, your party had also distanced itself from you a little bit at that point of time. So, Mr. Digvijay Singh, are you really in a position to question the BJP president about his visit?
First of all, Arnab, let me make it very clear. I have never defended an accused in a terror. Number one, I went to Azamgarh for only one thing, that how this city of Azamgarh, which has got such communal harmony history, communal harmony credentials, how could 26 boys become terrorists from Sanjarpur and Azamgarh?
No, you don't know what.
Even in 1947 partition, not a communal riot took place in Azamgarh.
No, the question was
even
of
when
a
the
visit.
Babri Masjid demolition, there was no riot in Azamgarh.
The question.
So I was amazed. I wanted to find out, as a political leader, as a political worker, that how is this change taken place? Even in this Batla House case, I had said I am not defending the person who has been who's been shot in encounter.
No,
I am challenging the encounter itself. How could a person be shot at on top of his head in an encounter?
No, Mr. Digvijay Singh, the question is this: the current status of the Batla House case is that Mohammad Saif is in judicial custody. The trial has commenced. It is not over. You said Rajnath Singh ji must answer why he went to meet Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Purohit and Sadhvi Pragya in jail.
Yes.
This was your comment. You said it 2 times now.
Yes.
My question to you. My question.
And I repeat it.
No,
I repeat it.
You're repeating it. You repeat it. And my question, you repeat it.
I'm repeating it. I'm not only questioning Rajnath Singh ji, I'm questioning Mr. Lalkrishna Advani also.
No, so
why did he lead a delegation to Dr. Manmohan Singh as a Prime Minister?
My question to you is,
when Digvijay Singh, when Digvijay Singh Thakur and Colonel Purohit.
When Digvijay Singh visits the home of a Batla House encounter accused, it becomes a visit to study. When Rajnath Singh visits Sadhvi Pragya or Colonel Purohit
I never visited anyone in jail. I never pleaded the case of the accused to the Prime Minister.
But you went to their house. You visited their family. You visited the family at a time when it was the subject of great national debate.
I did visit. I did speak to all these families. I just wanted to know how Azamgarh, which was one of the known cities of communal harmony, how is it suddenly become so communal?
Well said. By the same logic, then Rajnath Singh may have gone to understand how individuals who had an association with the Sangh Parivar, which you call Sanghi terrorism, how these individuals could have been accused or are involved, or whether they are at all involved or not. Maybe he went for a first-hand experience, just as you went for a first-hand experience to Azamgarh. Why don't you give him the benefit of doubt?
Okay. Let him clarify. But at the same time, what was Mr. Lalkrishna Advani doing in a delegation to Dr. Manmohan Singh? What was he studying with Dr. Manmohan Singh?
My last question to you, Digvijay Singh ji, is why is Rahul Gandhi not coming out on these issues?
Well, when the parties come out, why should Mr. Rahul Gandhi come individually?
He's the Vice President.
Yes, so what? We have got spokespersons who clarified.
He doesn't need to come out and take a position on it? Will that be taking part in negative politics?
His position is that of the Congress party, and the Congress party has clarified. Isn't that enough?
When the BJP president is getting more aggressive, you need a more aggressive response from the Congress Vice President?
No, it doesn't make a difference to us.
Digvijay Singh, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for talking to me on the News Hour tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure, Arnab.
Thank you.
Thank you.